right. Let's see here. Let's see if we're getting a live stream here. I think we're good.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning again. This is becoming a routine. At least we didn't get all the way to gratitudes. But so I'm rereading this book Chris Voss wrote called "Never Split the Difference," and it is it's about negotiation.
Right.
Really, really good book. If you haven't read it, I strongly encourage it, recommend it. But there's also this masterclass that there's like a series of videos, and I'm taking that, or I guess I'm watching it. There's no tests or anything, but it's good.
Do you do that now? You say that you're reading Never Split the Difference, but you're actually like really listening to it.
So I do Audible a lot.
Yeah.
So I that's kind of my, if I'm in the car going somewhere, plug in an Audible. But sometimes some books are a little bit heavier, and so I have to either go back and read it, or if I like to underline something. I haven't figured out the bookmarks thing on Audible, so it doesn't work for me. But anyway, this quote said, "If you approach a negotiation thinking the other guy thinks like you, you are wrong. That's not empathy, that's projection." So we're going to talk a little bit about that later today.
Sounds like you can unpack that for a little while.
We'll probably unpack a little bit of that. So anyway, what are you grateful for today?
Can you believe it's September?
Today is September 1st.
September 1st.
Yeah. White rabbit, white rabbit, white rabbit.
What does that mean?
I don't know. My teacher told me to do it first day of the month.
First day of every month?
Yeah, when I was in middle school. So good luck. I did it. You're taken care of.
Okay.
It's good. It'll roll off on all of us.
I've never heard that in my entire life. It's like a New Orleans thing.
Maybe so. So anyway, the question was, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for, if you're not big on 2020, we're one day closer to the end.
We are one day closer. So September, October, November, December. So we've got 4 months left.
Yeah.
So that means we're 3/4 of the way.
We're not going to think negative. This is going to be. We're going to crush the end. It is
good. Y'all are killing it out there. Super, super impressed with everything that's going on. So a little bit of news updates. So Teddy's got an education update. We'll let him talk here.
Good morning, Village. It's Teddy Pins here, and we've got a hot education update for this week. It's September 1st. Feels like it was just March 1st, wasn't it? Well, we're on the tail slide here, folks. 2020. Know your businesses are doing well, so go figure. Hot one today, folks. Today after the sales meeting, 10:30, we have got Battle of the Teams. It's going to be all about teams. If you want to get on a team, consider a team, build a team. Maybe you want to get off a team. I don't know. Anyhow, we've got David Binkley and a couple of his team members, and David Doris going to be going head-to-head 10:30. It's going to be an awesome panel, Q&A. Let's go from there. Tomorrow, Wednesday, 9 o'clock, our Thrive call. Been doing great with that. Appreciate those that are showing up and sharing. Got some great things coming out of that. And then Thursday, Reputation Management, Online Presence Sphere Network Testimonials. So we also have some outside education opportunities. Rebecca's encouraged 3 hours of free CE, Wednesday 9 to noon on real estate safety matters. You must register with GNR. If registration's closed, you can give them a call. It's how you can limit risk and preserve safety and facilitate positive business outcomes. So risk considerations of brokers, safety systems, safety protocol for showing properties and listings, understanding physical instinctual response to threats or attacks. It might just be like storming, good protection to storm Walmart on Black Friday if we're still doing that. All right, tech tip, it's here. The first and easy, you get two today. Command Control D. Command Control D. You hit this, and it will automatically give you a definition of a word. So if you're looking for broadening your vocab, this one's hot. Record your screen. So a lot of times you may want to help your clients understand how to do the DocuSigning. We've all had that client, or the transaction desk. We're filling out the disclosure. So you go into QuickTimes, it's on your computer, you're going to Applications, open QuickTime, you'll click File, New Screen Recording. So you go to QuickTime, click File, New Screen Recording, and it allows you to record your whole screen or a portion of it and walk somebody through something. That's it for today. Teddy out. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you at Broadwest after the education at 10:30. Talk to you soon.
That was awesome. So I use that screen recording actually quite a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For your Mindset Monday stuff?
For that, I use it for, because you can screen a video, you can do a movie recording, you can screen your but you can share screen. If I'm trying to like show somebody how to do something,
Yeah.
I'll do that and then send them a link or upload it to YouTube or something.
Is that Apple only?
I think it's Apple only, but you can still there's
another
there's a PC version as well. Yeah. So anyway, this screen shows you a lot of the education we've got. This should all be on your phone calendar or your whatever calendar you use. If you're not linked to the Village calendar, talk to either Jeremy or Rachel, and they can get you set up. So make sure you're doing that. Hunter.
All right.
Connolly Corner.
Let's go. Got a lot today. So Zach, you know my part of my role here is to keep you current on things, just
like
trends. You know. Hold on, I'm going backwards. There we are. So it helps having teenage daughters tell you when you're doing something like that you shouldn't be doing. And apparently, young people no longer trust older people that use a certain punctuation mark, and that is a period. Did you know that? When you're texting, it's older texters like you and I probably think like a period at the end of the sentence. It's just that's how we've been taught, right? Well,
it's just kind of how it is. But anyway.
Yeah. So apparently millennials agree that ending a sentence in text with a period is overly hostile and even worse, like uncool. So
it's not empathy; it's a projection.
So apparently, like "I'll be there," period, means something very different from just "I'll be there" without a period. Like "I'll be there," period, is kind of like you're upset about it, or like I've told you already. It's like too much emphasis, and it's just so this article I came across last week said that since a period is really not necessary, it's already clear in a text that you've finished your thought already. So what function does a period fulfill? It's kind of a good point.
So Siri, I think Siri probably thinks I'm being demanding all day, because if I voice to text with Siri, I say period.
Yeah, I do too.
To get in there.
Right. Like comma.
I'll be there, period.
Like David Payne is probably not liking this thing.
No, he's not liking it. Sorry, David.
But part of it is like with a lot of communication going across text now, it's you miss out on the social cues, either voice inflection of a phone call or in person, eye raise, and so one of those cues now is punctuation, and so the lack of or including a punctuation can change the meaning of something. And then, ironically, my wife sent me this yesterday, which I thought was funny. You got to be careful when you don't use punctuation, because I'm giving up eating chocolate for a month is very different from I'm giving up, period, eating chocolate for a month.
That's true.
Anyway, just be careful. All right, moving on. More important things. The market's updates. 30%. The Nasdaq's up 30%.
Wow.
The S&P 500, although it's only up, almost 9%, is up 60% from its lows in March, just a few months ago.
Wow.
60%. So if you bought on, anyway, it's just a sign, I think, that overall the markets are not expecting a large long-term recession due to the pandemic we're in. So anyway,
good news.
Thought that was interesting. Moving on. Brace yourself. We're gonna dig into the exciting U.S. household debt and credit report, which came out. The second quarter results came out, and it does provide some pretty fascinating insights into our own finances, kind of as a country, and then also some housing related stuff. So, want to touch on that. So, starting out, Zach, how much money do you think that we as households actually owe, like in debt?
On average for Americans?
No, not on average, just total. In the trillions.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you.
I wasn't going to say that.
$14.3 trillion.
So this is not.
That's the total amount of household debt. Wow. Yeah. So you can see it's been growing steadily. It peaked kind of in the last downturn, and it's kind of grown past then. It's a massive number. Our GDP is about, and the GDP is the value of all the goods and services traded in the country for a year. That's about 20 trillion. So I mean, suffice it to say, it's just a big number.
Now, a mortgage would be included in that.
Yeah, all the
Okay.
mortgages will be
So they
included.
can
Credit card debt, any kind of personal debt is in this $14.3 trillion. But it is interesting. It's the first drop we've seen. You can kind of see on the very tail end of that 14.3, it kind of dips just a little bit in the second quarter. It's the first drop we've seen since 2014, and it's the largest contraction since sometime in 2013.
Now, it could be because interest rates are pretty low, so money's cheap. So people are taking on more debt.
But they're actually taking on less. It dropped a little bit in the second quarter.
I guess I'm just thinking of the trends.
Oh, yeah.
Over the last several.
Over the last few years. That's true.
So, there's a difference between being reckless and being taking advantage of cheap money.
Good point. Good point. And so where do we owe all this money? This is kind of an interesting breakdown. When you break the debt into its component parts, that 14.3 trillion, most of our debt is in mortgages, about 70%, or 9.8 trillion. The next thing is student loans. That's a big number for student loans. Over 1.5 trillion dollars just tied up in people's educational expenses. Car loans about 1.3 billion. Credit cards about 820 billion. Now, credit cards, a big takeaway from this report is credit card debt declined significantly, almost like 8%, 76 billion less in credit card debt. So
Then
than the previous quarter.
wow.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, like during the second quarter, so that's from April 1st to June 30th, credit card debt went down significantly. And so it's the largest drop on record. And so in terms of percentage-wise, so anyway, it certainly has to be a result of the pandemic. People may be spending less, or and they still got the CARES income, and they just decided to pay down some debt. But it's kind of, it goes counter to what I would have thought.
Totally
maybe
counter. Yeah. Because you think some people are out of work, load up the credit cards.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We do need that spending to kind of, it's like, that's important for our economy to kind of get back going. So it's something to kind of track. So next, what about credit quality? So just kind of zeroing in on the mortgage side. So this slide I thought was interesting. That red line at the top, that is the number of people whose mortgages are, their credit score is above 760. And so that's your highest quality borrower. And you can see since 2006, that number has really been growing rapidly. And even within the last quarter, it's a really stellar credit quality of all that mortgage. So
probably a lot to do with the availability of, sort of low credit loans. Those were a lot more available pre-recession
exactly
than they are now.
Yeah, they're not as available now. So overall, even though mortgage debt 70%, the credit quality of that, people remain highly qualified to buy homes, even in the current unique economic environment. So I think that's really healthy for the real estate market. This is who is borrowing to buy homes. And if you look at those red bars, those are borrowers who are aged 30 to 39. So the millennials and younger, kind of that range is proof that they're really driving a lot of the buying out there. Remember in the last recession, there was a lot of that. Well, the millennials will never be able to buy, and maybe it set them back a little bit, but they are out in full force and probably only get even bigger over the next few years.
Wow, that's interesting. That blue line's a little tricky because I think I got my first home maybe when I was 24, 25. So most 18 to 24-year-olds don't get a mortgage on a majority basis. But
yeah,
so that's probably weights down that blue line a little bit. But yeah, that's fascinating about the red.
Yeah. All right. So just kind of from this report, just to conclude, borrowing is really high but slightly down for the quarter. Credit card balances also down significantly, which is interesting. We do need people to spend to boost the recovery. Student loans are a little bit concerning, I think, just that amount. But credit quality is really strong, particularly in housing. and the millennial and younger buyers are out in full force. All right, switching over, kind of some more good news, how we're doing as a state. This is the latest ranking of economic strength. States are actually facing a budget shortfall of about $555 billion over the next few years. And so how each state is addressing this and which states are the strongest in terms of employees, pensions, all their obligations that they have. And Tennessee was ranked number 7th out of 50 states. So pretty strong overall. The article said we had good overall operations and well-funded pensions. Just in case you're curious.
The jobless rate, though, that's interesting because we're actually a good bit higher on that, 9.7%.
Yeah.
That's the 4th highest out of 16.
Out of those top 16, for sure. If you're interested in the bottom 16 or the bottom 10, you've got Illinois and New Jersey, the worst. They may have to tap into kind of a $4 billion debt just to get their pension liabilities back in line. You see their unemployment, ours was, I believe it was 9%. They're at around 15%. So anyway, overall, Tennessee is doing really well, ranked 7th out of 50.
That's great.
Good news there.
Good social media posting.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's always dangerous for me, but we did just finish the Democratic and Republican primary, so I wanted to touch on that. We're not, a political organization here. We grew up in a time where you could disagree with someone politically and still be friends with them and not think they're a complete idiot. So I think that's still a possibility today, but I do also want to, I kind of subscribe to the Warren Buffett mindset that whoever we wake up with as president in November, the world's going to go on. America is still going to be a good place to do business and a good country. We've been through bad presidents and good presidents over the years, and so, I mean, if you watch both conventions, which I did, I mean, both sides just made the case that if the other side wins, life as we know it is over. And
fear is a powerful tool.
It is, and they really are trying to play on your emotions. So again, I'm unbiased here. I think it is interesting to track who we think's going to win, and instead of relying on news or our opinions, I think the best way to do it is Vegas.
Vegas, the odds.
The odds, all they care about is making money. And particularly with sports, like having been down the last few months, like they're really dialed into this election. So I pulled the odds last night, and we've got.
I love that Vegas has odds on the president.
Yeah, so 2020 presidential odds. You can see how it's over the last month. It's shifted a good bit. Biden's still a slight favorite. So the way to read this is the lower the number, the more of an odds. So a minus 115 means you have to bet $115 to win $100.
Okay.
On this bet. So if you think Joe Biden's going to win, you bet $115, and if that happens, you win $100. If it doesn't happen, then you lose $115.
I'm seeing a serious. Are these numbers right? I mean, there's the plus 140, plus 135 now.
Yeah. So August 4th, you could have bet $100 on Trump, and you would have won $140 if Trump had won.
Got it.
Now his odds have skinnied up a little bit. Currently, you would have to bet $105 to win $100.
Got it.
It's kind of confusing. You got to really be a degenerate gambler to follow this. We've got some out there. You know who you are. Okay, so currently Trump's a slight favorite, although it's gotten a little closer since the conventions. Not as close who's going to win the popular vote, but of course the popular vote doesn't really matter. It's the electoral college, right? Mm-hmm. So, but it is interesting that you would have to bet $430 to win $100 if you thought the Democrats were going to win the popular vote.
Got it.
So anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. The
Can
odds,
you actually do this? I mean,
these are
you can actually
Bovada
go to
odds.
Vegas and go,
You can
wow.
go. You can actually, I think illegally now from Tennessee, but if you were in Vegas, you could do it legally. So these are the odds that Trump will drop out of the race before November 1st. You can actually bet on this. And so if you think you will, you can bet $100 and win $600. And if you think he won't, you could bet $1,200 to win $100.
Wow.
So odds are he won't. But interestingly, Biden's odds are a little bit more likely he'll drop out before November, according to Vegas. So you'd only have to bet, I think it was 600 for Trump, and 400 for Biden. So, both of them are in their 70s, so you never know, something could happen. And anyway, just thought that was kind of fascinating. Dialing into the Senate. Democrats are favorites to control it. You'd have to bet $130 to win 100, and then the balance of power in terms of the House and Senate. So that's the House of Representatives and the Senate. Those are the odds. The favorite is you'll have both the Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Split House with a Democratic House and Senate would be, and Republican Senate would be next. The least likely outcome would be a Republican House and a Democratic Senate.
Okay.
Anyway, just kind of, I find all that stuff pretty.
Make some good Vegas money on that.
You could. That's all I got.
That's great. Thank you.
I don't know if you saw the Rachel's email yesterday. Offices, normal hours.
Back to normal
8 to 5.
8 to 5.
And so.
Or 8:30 to 5:30.
Nope, 8 to 5.
8 to 5. 8 to 5.
We've had it used to be 8:30 to 5:30,
Yeah.
but we have agents that had earlier meetings. Like you have an 8:30 meeting, and the office wouldn't be open. Your client gets there 5 minutes early, and it just feels like early in the morning in particular. We were running into that, so we wanted to shift it to where 8 to 5 kind of service the agents a little bit better. So if you got any feedback on that, let us know.
Sounds good, yeah. So mortgage rates right now, really, really strong. 30-year fixed rate mortgages as of yesterday afternoon were 2.5%, no change from the week before. 15-year down a little bit. It was, I think 2 weeks ago, it was 2.125%. Went up just a hair to 2.25%. Went back down to 2.125%. And the ARMs are up from 2.375% last week to 2.5%. Again, most people, the 30-year fixed rate number is the key. Post this stuff on social media. Y'all talk to your clients. We talk about this all the time, and I've seen a lot of you doing it, and it's getting really good feedback. Most people don't, if they're not in the zone with this stuff, they don't know about it, and so it's really important to be the source of the information. All right, so we talked last week, and we had some bets, or 2 weeks ago, and had some bets about what the second quarter appreciation would be.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the first quarter of 2020 was 1.49%, and last year as a whole was 5.3%. So I think I was guessing a little over 1%, but obviously with the coronavirus.
I think I said 2.3.
Yeah. Well, were you talking total? I think.
Yeah, total.
Yeah, total. Okay, that's good. Well, if you said that, Hunter, you are correct for the total. But the second quarter appreciation, this is federal data across. But this is just Nashville, the Nashville MSAs. This is Nashville, Franklin, Murfreesboro, kind of the big picture of greater Nashville, right? So even with COVID, second quarter, that's post-COVID, right? That's April, May, and June. House appreciation still went up almost 1% over those 3 months.
Wow.
Which is a pretty good sign for where we are and where we get to sell real estate and practice and live. So I think that's really
It feels
strong.
like I would have guessed, yeah.
Yeah, so but conventional wisdom could say that the market's taking a tumble. So anyway, post about this. You'll get these slides as well in an email later. Tools, a few tools. So 40X. So we have over 50 people who have signed up. So excited about this. We've got 7 different groups that we're going through. We're having an introduction meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. via Zoom. There's a link that I sent out yesterday to everybody who is in the groups. We don't have any more room. Those groups are closed, but we're going to be doing another one in the spring. But we've got a really exciting stuff happening there. So stay tuned. Just a reminder, Boost, this happens automatically with any of your listings over $195,000, $195 and up. So if you have a listing, it will automatically get boosted. Please make sure when you get that email, you can log into the dashboard. You can click reset your password if you don't remember what it is. It's probably your @villagetn.com email, unless you've gone in and changed it. But put your seller's contact info in there, email and phone numbers, and you can do that. And then they should, if they're on social media, they should see your ad and just see their house being posted. So it goes on Facebook, Instagram, and then also Google display ads. So on the side of the, where you can see things, and it'll target people that are looking for homes based on whatever algorithms and demographics data that Google and Instagram and Facebook use.
That's really the key part. I mean, obviously we could do this ourselves, but Boost has the algorithms to kind of make sure it's targeted to the right place and that money's being used most wisely.
If you have a listing, more than likely you should be getting an email with some leads. Some are getting 3, 4.
But even if
this
you're
listing David had 18.
But even if you're like David probably hadn't even touched any of those leads. It's still working on behalf of.
David's touched the leads. David's talked to them. Right, David? So Boost.
It goes on.
VillageTN.
It happens though without you doing anything.
It happens, and so that's the beauty and the curse, because set it and forget it. But if you truly forget it, then it's not going to be as useful, right? So that's a really, really incredible tool. Just a reminder, also dotted and crossed. Handling all of the contract to close. Village Assist is still doing listing packages, trying to get your property up to the point of getting a contract, and then dotted and crossed. Once you have an executed purchase and sale agreement, dotted and crossed is there taking over what Village Assist used to do from contract to close. So a lot of good successes with that. If you're having any trouble with that, let me or Hunter know. But we've had a lot of good success stories. So good news there. And a few tips. So tip of the week. So never split the difference. All right. So this, again, I'm rereading this book and on Audible. I'm re-listening to the book, but I'm also doing the master class, which covers a lot of the same stuff. But he talks about 3 main things that resonated. One was mirroring. So negotiations, a mirror is simple. It's repeat the last 1 to 3 critical words somebody has said. By repeating back what people say, you're triggering this mirroring instinct. Your counterpart will inevitably elaborate. So if you say something to me, I don't know, make a statement about what you had for breakfast this morning.
Zach, I had a bowl of fruit for breakfast this morning.
A bowl of fruit?
Yeah. It was blueberries.
Blueberries, okay. So, again, that's a great example. But the idea is that, in fairness, I did tell my wife afterwards, but I did do this with my wife a couple weeks ago, and we talked for like an hour, and she had no idea I was doing it, and I just kept doing it. And we had a really incredible conversation.
Oh, okay.
Because I was actually listening, because I truly had to stay
You weren't
focused.
just manipulating.
No, I was listening. I was practicing.
Good.
And then I told her, and she was, anyway, it was good. She was good with it. But so labeling. So this is using the words, it seems like or it sounds like, and then putting a feeling or empathy statement in there. So, maybe your client is stressed out about, a big inspection item list, or their house not selling, right? They're probably feeling fear. So if you label that and says, it seems like you're feeling some fear about this, or it seems like you're stressed out or you're angry, right? What you don't say is, well, what I'm hearing is ... because that can come across as a little arrogant and kind of a know-it-all. So he says, don't say what I'm hearing is, but that's something that I think I've said it because I think we were trained that way. But labeling not only makes your counterpart feel listened to, it taps into his or her brain, makes them aware of how they might be feeling, because that's usually not obvious to them. And so sometimes
something that subtle is like, it sounds like your feeling is a whole lot better than what I'm hearing is. Like that's the word that can kind of project.
And then the third is shut up after that. Like stop talking, right? So which is hard for all of us, especially if there's that awkward pause. Yeah. It seems like you're feeling pretty angry about this. Well, because I mean, right? Just stop talking and let them, be with them in that struggle for a minute. But because they will elaborate, and sometimes they can realize that they're feeling that way. The whole idea is to get people to be more reasonable, whether you're negotiating with a counterpart on the other side of a transaction or your own client. The goal is to get clarity and understanding so that everybody's on the same page. All right, so Broadwest. So this is pretty exciting. So we're here at the sales gallery here at Broadwest. It's just opened up. So Broadwest is 196 condominiums in the Midtown area, right on 1600 to 1700 block of West End Avenue. There used to be a big hole in the ground.
It's a whole block,
People
right?
called it 4-acre city block. It's right where Broadway and West End converge. And this is a rendering of the residential building. There's 14 stories of hotel, of a Conrad Nashville hotel. So this is the first property that's going to be delivered, first condo building with hotel services. So if you want room service, check. You want to be up on this 34th floor rooftop pool with some friends, have poolside drink service, food service, not a problem. Incredible amenities. So Brian Stoltzfus and Sydney McCann are going to show you a few things here in a second. And but this is just another shot of the rooftop pool, another shot of the outdoor amenity areas. Just a really incredible building. And then this is the entrance to the condo and the hotel. The biggest key difference from this with any other building, well, there's a lot of them, but I think from one thing that people aren't necessarily knowing until we talk about it is everything's completely separate. So you could live in the condominium building and never actually see a hotel guest if you didn't want to.
I got my own amenities, pool.
Yeah, so some of the other buildings have shared amenities with hotels or shared amenities with renters, things like that. So this is different. So that's been a positive piece. This is just a rendering of the condo lobby. And yeah, so anyway, we're going to switch this off here, and I'm going to show you what we got. Don't get dizzy on me. Hi, Brian.
Hey, good morning, Zach. How are you?
Good.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for logging in and giving us a chance to show you a little bit of the sales gallery. Zach, it seems like you want me to talk more about Broadwest.
I think that would be good.
Seems like
that would be good.
So I'll just go over quickly kind of how the site is laid out, and then we'll let Sydney kind of talk about some of the details and the finishes. But essentially, you've got 3 buildings on the site in between West End, Hayes, 16th and 17th. The building on my right is a 21-story commercial tower. There is a building on the north side of the site, a 3-story, also creative office space. And then you've got the tower that we're working on here on my left. And so that consists of the Conrad Hotel at the base. So the first 13 floors are all hotel. And then our units start on 15 and go up to 34. Most of our amenities happen on the 34th floor overlooking the city. Like Zach said, completely separate amenity package, completely separate lobby, completely separate everything, which is a huge selling feature. Yeah, there you go. See the pool deck up there on 34. Another thing that I'll point out that's important to the agents, we are offering half of the commissions paid up front. And so, when you bring us a client, a buyer, we go under contract, we're happy to pay half of that commission on the front end. So that's kind of nice feature. Zach, remind me and we're paying 3%, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the Four Seasons? Do they do 3% also?
I think it's less, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. I think the Four Seasons maybe does 2.5. So anyway, we'd love to see you guys come down and take a look at the sales gallery later today after the meeting or whenever it suits you, and we'd love to show you around.
What do we have over here, Sid?
Hello, everyone. So just real quickly about the finishes. We kept things simple with the finish packages so buyers don't have to come in and try to make any choices on their own. So we have 2 finish packages. What's behind me right now is our dark finish package. This package is in every unit on all of our odd floors in the building. Some things to note, so while it is really simple with the packages, the finishes are pretty elevated. We've got waterfall marble islands, waterfall backsplash, Wolf Sub-Zero appliances. We did the Wolf speed oven instead of a standard microwave. Every unit has gas cooking. Everything is externally vented. So really thoughtful designs. These drawer inserts. We have waste bin inserts, which if you've ever lived in a condo, you know that seems simple, but it's actually a really big deal. So we also offer wine storage in all of the units, depending on the unit. You know, you get a specific wine storage. This happens to be going into our largest 3-bedroom plan, which also, if you're not aware of it, we have a standard stack of 3-bedroom units. It's outside of the penthouses, which is pretty unique also. And then Zach, show them the floor really quick, which is pretty. So the floors are all engineered wood, of course, but laid in this really pretty herringbone pattern. And then here is our light package that appears in all of our units on even floors. So, you know, the first choice someone needs to make is what package do we like? That helps us to hone in on what floor they need to look at.
So this is a pretty big kitchen. This looks like, is this like a penthouse kitchen?
Actually no, this is our smallest 1-bedroom kitchen. So this is 2 scale.
This is the smallest kitchen. Wow, it's
Still
huge.
has the Wolf Sub-Zero appliances, the wine storage. The dishwashers are all panel front, which again, these are little things, but it just feels richer than what we've seen in anything else in Nashville prior to this. And then our bathroom, you want to zip on over? So this bathroom is actually to scale, if there were a wall right here, for our largest 1-bedroom. Thanks, Zach. So we've got these gorgeous freestanding tubs. We have the marble wall that goes up behind the vanities. That's standard in every unit. We have curbless showers, which is a big deal for a lot of people. These lighted shelves. Really, really lots of attention to detail has been given to both the floor plans and the finishes. We'll have separate water closets in all the bathrooms as well. So a lot of touches, again, that haven't currently or previously been available in Nashville.
So from a price point standpoint, you've got 1-bedrooms, 2-bedrooms, and 3-bedrooms. What are some ballpark ranges for?
1-beds, mid-5s up to upper 7s. This is our biggest unit. I think on the highest floor, this is about $799 for a 1-bed. But then 2-beds.
This is a 1-bedroom bathroom?
This is a 1-bedroom
with a separate tub? And
separate water closet. 2-beds start in the upper 7s and go up to $1.4 million. 3-beds, $1.4 million to $1.8 million. Penthouses, $2 million to just under $6 million, I think 5.5. 20% down is what it takes to lock one down. Estimated completion is probably third quarter of 2021, so next year.
so what are the next steps? If somebody wants to see this, we put a few little times today in a doodle for the next couple of hours. But if somebody has a client, what do they do?
So we're here 7 days a week. We try to make it really easy. We have to see private by appointment for COVID restrictions, but we've got, what's our phone number? You can call we've got one main number you can call, you can email Brian, Zach, or I, we can get you scheduled, but effectively we're here 10 to 6 Monday through Friday, 10 to 3 on Saturday, and 2 to 5 on Sunday.
So BroadwestResidences.com?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, BroadwestResidences.com. I don't know those details.
That's great. All right. Well, that's pretty cool. So I think that's all we got today. So if y'all have not entered your coming soons in yet, please do that. Coming soon with no s.villagetn.com. And then again, if you want to schedule time to come down here and see this, please do. But hope y'all have a wonderful week and enjoy in 20 minutes the growth class panel with David Doris and David Binkley and their teams is starting. The Zoom link is in the Village calendar, so please do tune into that. That'll be an incredible opportunity. Hunter, you got anything else?
That's all.
All right, y'all take care. Have a good one.